I recently had a question asked of me, and the question was, how do you stay up to date on everything that's going on around you? Well, that's a good question. And I'll never profess to know everything related to housing, development, politics, and more. I know a little bit about many things, and those things that really interest me, I tend to want to learn more about. I mean, what this comes back to is that you can never stop learning. I mean, if I had stopped learning, I'd be set in my ways or really far behind what's happening around me. I mean, what's a good example? Hey, social media. I got on it 11 years ago entirely out of curiosity. I was curious how this tool was used for elections and why it was credited for closing the gap for some candidates. I mean, I stayed on it for months, humming and hawing, but eventually I was hooked. I was hooked because I could see there was more potential than that. And I mean, there wasn't much guidance available at the time. So it was really a bit of a learning experience through trial and error. I mean, regardless of that, I still learn more about it today. And it's created many opportunities in a world that, I mean, is constantly changing us and challenging us. So let's go back in time. There's an old saying that businesses used to spend more on toilet paper than training their employees, and I can attest to that. It was true. But my parents, especially my mother, who always reminded me to learn continually, she was a great inspiration as she would go to a multitude of conferences. She would read and write reports, or even back to university to take courses at much later in her life. So in investing the time and money to keep this up, I took some university courses. I started to help implement ongoing training within the Shane Holmes group of companies. I joined business groups and Tech Canada at one point to keep up and keep challenging myself to learn new things consistently. I mean, I guess if I were to suggest some ways to always keep learning, it would be these things. Read things outside your profession or even your personal interests. In tech, I made a point to talk to smarter people than me. Listen first, then ask questions. Listen to podcasts, especially while driving. And most of all, get outside of your comfort zone. I mean, I'd encourage you to stay open to seemingly small educational opportunities. I mean, you'll feel smarter, invigorated, and excitement just learning new things. That much I promise. Take care.